Hey everybody, this is American Nana. I'm just going to guess y'all really want to hear what I have to say today because I've already done one video. I'm having some problems with my storage on my iPad. I have problems with that iCloud and can you take off pictures, and I got too many. Anyway, I got to address that. But when I got my iPad, I should have just not put my pictures on it and then started fresh. I don't know. It don't matter. Y'all don't want to hear about my issues. Anyhow, long story short, I did a video and I did have to stop because my grandbaby came out for her night loving from me. And so that meant that I had to use that cap cut thing to merge the two together because I don't really know what I'm doing. And my husband got me this, I'm used to just leaning down because y'all usually sit on a coffee cup and I put my iPhone on there. But he got me this thing so I don't have to hold on to anything. So I've got that hooked up. I don't know what difference it's going to make because I'm not really going to be able to look at y'all because I have something to read again. I wonder if I should put some kind of cartoon or something up here for y'all to like look at instead of me when I'm reading. Or just use like my little circle group and let it talk and y'all can hear me, but you don't have to see me, right? Anyway, I had done one video and I was trying to merge them, and it's stupid technology. My iPad was telling me I don't have enough memory. Now I've only got about 15,000 photos between photos and videos on here, so I'm guessing I might be part of the problem right there, you know. My bangs are getting in my eyes, sorry. So, anyway, long story short, I have more memory on my phone. Not really sure why, because I thought I deleted off of both, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Alright, this is what I'm doing, folks. I got some scoop. I'm scooping Turtle Boy. Yeah. Alright, some of y'all won't watch Turtle Boy. Some of y'all don't like Turtle Boy. There's some rough edges about him that, yeah, can be a little bit too strong in some ways for me, and in other ways he's okay. And bottom line is, he's an investigative reporter, and he has really dug into so many things in the Karen Reed case that have come through and been proven that what he said and what he found is true. So I thought that what I would do, for those of you that may not want to or read it, I'll read it to you. See, my face looks like a ghost now. I got my iPad right here, so I'm gonna look like, I don't know. Looks kind of scary to me. Looks like I'm like hanging on one side and not the other, or yeah. My great-great, my granddaddy's mama, my great-grandma, she had that double chin thing going on. I'm not gonna say, I almost said my aunt, her daughter, had the same thing. And yeah, I've got but I got no neck. If I weighed more than, it's just longer, flabby wrinkles. I don't do any, I burned every wrinkle, unfortunately. Okay, guys, this is really something I found interesting. So, and I'm tired, but I'm going to do it again because I wanted to do it to the point I did it the first time, right? I wonder if I can look up and, here, let me see. Now my shadow. All right, so if you want to read it for yourself, you can go to tbdailynews.com. And this that I'm fixing to read to you is called Canton Cover-Up, Part 387. I'm going to read it as it is written. So, when I say the word I, it's not me saying I. It's Turtle Boy saying I. When I say the word me, it's not me. It's Turtle Boy saying me. I'm just reading this to you. I don't know the facts because I didn't investigate it. But I'm going to read to you his article. You know, I should say nothing should cease to amaze me anymore. Let's see what y'all think about this. All right, ready? Oh, feel free to just, plug in the mirror buds. Don't even have to look at you don't have to watch this. I mean, I don't know. I got to figure out how to not be so boring. Okay, here we go. Canton Cover-Up, Part 387. Conflicted State Police Lieutenant John Fanning was in charge of eliminating a juror who intended to acquit Karen Reed. I have to scroll. Hold on. Multiple reliable sources have reported to Turtle Boy Daily News that Lieutenant John Fanning, one of Michael Proctor's supervisors from the Norfolk County DA's office, was in charge of overseeing the jury during the Karen Reed trial. He was also the reason a juror who seemed inclined to vote not guilty was dismissed on the final day of the trial. This, I'm going to say, this is people's perception of watching the jurors. So, some they thought were definite for Karen Reed. Some they, I don't know if they could tell any that were not, but the ones that you could tell by their manner, well, you couldn't tell, but you could assume they would be a not guilty. That's what he's talking about. Okay. So, let me see. As I reported throughout the trial, there were two jurors in particular, both women, who made facial reactions that showed they were visibly disgusted with Michael Proctor during his testimony. Proctor, whoops, hold on. Those are, I'm trying to get, okay. I can now report with certainty that John Fanning reported to a court officer that this juror was allegedly speaking about the case weeks prior at a bar, and that the alleged infraction was caught on video. However, Fanning did not sign or write an affidavit swearing to this, nor did he provide the video to the court. In fact, Cannoni did not speak with Fanning at all. She simply took his secondhand story and dismissed sorry, let me say it again. Sorry. And no, I'm not going to fix it because I'm just wanting to just go straight from no editing onto YouTube. I don't trust my day. Let's see. Let me say it again. All right, back to the story. She simply took his secondhand story as a fact and dismissed a juror who gave up 10 weeks of her life in order to perform her civic duty. This juror seemed adamant about Reed's innocence based on her body language, and if she was visibly unconvinced by Trooper Paul's testimony in particular, then that means that she believes John wasn't struck by Karen's car. That would mean she was a not guilty on manslaughter as well as murder. One can infer based on her behavior that she would have been a vocal leader as a juror, as opposed to a passive juror who was easily bullied and swayed. The significance because several jurors have signed affidavits swearing that the vote was 6-6 on manslaughter before the bullying began, which led to 2 or 3 jurors switching their votes to guilty. A strong-willed, loudly opinionated voice in favor of not guilty could have convinced the jurors to change their votes to not guilty. So we're talking on count 2. Additionally, juror number 3 was also the same juror, it's good, who reported juror number 5 on June 14th, leading to that juror's dismissal. Reliable sources have confirmed that juror number 5 said in the presence of all the other jurors that she was bothered by Karen Reed turning around and smiling so much at her family. 3 jurors, 3, 12, and 13 reported her. All of them were called up to speak with Judge Canoni about this. And as luck would have it, these were the exact 3 jurors who were eliminated and are made alternates on the final day of this trial. It's outrageous that someone with such vested interest in the outcome of the case as Lieutenant Fanning, who is friends and works with some of the most controversial witnesses, would be in charge of the jury. Fanning was on the group text with Proctor, where Proctor admitted to going through David Gannetti's, called his client an R-word, thumb, looking for naked pictures of Reed. He said nothing to admonish his underlying for his egregious. I said that word just fine a while ago. Egregious, oh my God. Egregious ethical violation. See, I told y'all I said it before, and then I'm sitting here, well, that's how you learn to read, folks. You don't know? Just watch Nana. We got it. Okay. Fanning was also a listed witness for the Commonwealth and participated in the investigation of Karen Reed. He testified at 2 of my grand juries. He was at my house with Brian Tully the day I was arrested. He searched my home and found my notes indicating that he and other members of the state police were being investigated by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Fanning took part in the interrogation of former Avon police dispatcher Janelle Webb, took her phone without a warrant, and looked through her messages with Turtle Boy in order to indict her on bogus conspiracy to commit witness intimidation charges. To this day, 8 months later, Webb has never been arraigned. They never had any intention of actually prosecuting her. They just needed to indict her on a conspiracy charge because they can't indict me on a conspiracy charge if they don't have a second party I allegedly conspired with. Fanning was also seen at the home of several citizens with Trooper Bukaki, demanding to know if they ever messaged Jennifer McCabe or Elizabeth Proctor. Additionally, he oversaw the botched Sandra Birchmore investigation, which was wrongly determined to be a suicide and has been since taken over by the Attorney General's office after her death was changed to a homicide. It's pure corruption that someone as invested in the Reed trial as Fanning was would be able to handpick a juror for removal who made it be known through her body language that she intended to be a strong voice for acquittal in the deliberation room. If the video of Juror 3 talking about the case at the bar doesn't exist, then it's blatant corruption on the part of Fanning. However, if it does exist, then it should have been given to the judge. It wasn't. And if it does exist, then who took the video? And more importantly, how did they recognize juror number 3? If you weren't inside that courtroom, you wouldn't be able to identify any of the jurors in public. This would mean that if a video does exist, that juror 3 and likely every other juror was followed by somebody from state police. How else would they happen to know what bar she was at on that certain date? Juror 3 would have been able to tell Canoni she never went to a bar if in fact she hadn't. It sounds like the most likely scenario is that the state police knew Juror 3 was at a specific bar on a specific date, and they made up the story about having a video to have her kicked off the jury. That way, Juror 3 couldn't deny being at the bar. Other questions I have. Does the Commonwealth often invite listed witnesses? Fanning was listed as a witness but never called in murder trials to oversee the juries of those trials? Or only in cases where they've been accused of corruption and investigated by the FBI? Why was someone as high-ranking as Lieutenant John Fanning chosen to oversee the jury? It seems like a crappy job. I just put a different word in. So why couldn't state police stick some rookie on it? Why not a trooper from the Westfield Barracks with no ties to Norfolk County? Why did the state police have anything to do with any trial proceedings? Shouldn't the court be in charge of that? Shouldn't they have assigned a white shirt court officer to do the job Fanning was tasked with doing? Then again, conflicts of interest are nothing new to the Norfolk County officials. The entire basis of the cover-up of John O'Keefe's murder revolves around conflicts of interest. Michael Proctor is a close family friend of the Alberts and was offered a thank you gift by Julie Albert on the day Karen Reed was arrested. Brian Tully played college football with Paul O'Keefe. Yuri Buchanan's brother is close friends with Kevin and Brian Albert. But none of this mattered to the Norfolk County DA's office, so it's not surprising that John Fanning was in charge of overseeing the jury in Karen Reed's trial. And it's certainly not surprising that he had a hand. Not surprising that he had hand-picked a juror for removal who was going to vote to acquit the defendant. So that is his that's his story that he wrote today. And I have to give it to him. That's a lot of digging because these people like covering everything up best as they can, right? I have a lot of questions about this case, and even when it's all said and done and she's found not guilty on the record and she's not being screwed and chased anymore by these corrupt individuals, I think I'm still going to dig into this for a bit, because all the people involved in her case need to suffer consequences for what part they had in it. It has become much bigger than Karen Reed. It's a movement. The people of Massachusetts want to be treated like regular citizens. You need to tell the, what is it they call them? I don't know. They think they're the elite few. They want to be called Canton First. I mean, you know, they're the reason that they have to do the town hall meetings via Zoom now, because the people are starting to just fight back. They've been asking, they've been pleading, they've been trying every single thing that they can do. Yet nobody cares. Nobody cares that Chris Albert is a convicted murderer or manslaughterer or DUI killer driver, whatever it's called. You know, forgive me if I don't have the right terminology, but drunk driving killed a foreign exchange student and injured someone in his vehicle, in the foreign exchange student's vehicle. And then he just waited for 30 hours to turn himself in. Who was the first phone call? Who did he call first? It's going to be one of these guys, and I'm sure Turtle Boy knows. But he called somebody in this group of people regarding that he had killed somebody driving drunk in a vehicle. He got an entire 6 months. He's on the Board of Select, or the Select Board. You can have people visiting establishments in your town, and that welcoming committee of Mr. Chris Albert, if he doesn't like you, like if I were to show up outside his pizza place tomorrow, I would expect to be treated like Turtle Boy and Meredith, because they can't handle people that see through them. They can't handle people that call it like it is. And how they've managed to get on this far with heaven knows what all has gone under the rug over the years. My heart still feels so sorry for the people that were on the jury. I really and honestly expected at least the judge would have bothered to have another judge at this point be present, and the attorneys, and call the jurors in and get it on record that they were unanimous. They were confused. They didn't know what to do. They felt you had to find on all of them to fill out the form. The judge said, "Don't tell me. Don't tell anybody until you've made your decision on all of these." Wasn't that about what she said? And if I got it wrong, excuse me, she was rather confusing. And I think that tomorrow, because I'm so confused over what count 2 even is, because for the life of me, I can't figure out if they were not guilty on 1 and 3, how they could possibly have come up with manslaughter. Because you can't possibly be blaming her for taking a grown man to a party that he wanted to go to and leaving him there. That's what he wanted to do, and that's what she did. So I don't know what the problem is. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand. Where's the problem? And for that, she's not guilty. For, and let me just say that anybody, I mean, come on, especially women, and I'm sure most men too, can put themselves in a situation where Karen found herself in her situation with John. It's not a reason to kill someone. They were getting along just fine at the bar. Her statement to the EMS person, I believe y'all said it was an EMS person, that they got into a fight, and that's the last thing that, and she feels bad because that's what happened the last time she saw him. So what y'all want to do is y'all want to jump to this Aruba crap that, quite frankly, big deal. I believe she saw him kissing somebody. Sounds like a pretty nice playboy right there. Not committed, not gonna commit. Likes his pretty women, you can tell, because of Karen Reed. She's very, very pretty young lady. And my heart breaks for her family, for her mom and her dad. I'm old enough to be her mother. It would break my heart, just literally break my heart, that my child was going through this along with all of her own medical issues. Oh, and she lost her job, she's used her savings, and you people are all about that because why? You see, Lowley didn't present a case. Lowley, Lowley, you gotta have proof, you gotta have evidence. And you went to court because Jen McCabe and all them that got together and talked about it and gave their story. And the bullshit fact that you say Proctor said that it was a very thorough investigation. I say he decided within 4 hours. He said, I believe on the stand it was more like 11 or 12 hours. And he keeps talking about all the evidence, all the evidence. And he's so full of crap because he had no evidence. He had to fabricate evidence. And then they go to court and there's no evidence. I mean, it doesn't fit. Your story doesn't fit. It makes no sense. The vehicle did not hit John O'Keefe. And your trooper, Paul, my gosh, if I could just stand up and perform what he wants us to believe happened to Officer John O'Keefe, I'd probably break my neck trying to do it. It makes absolutely no sense. I will tell you what Karen Reed and John O'Keefe were fighting about. Are you ready? And I don't know for a fact, but this makes perfect sense to me. A storm was coming. Earlier that day, John O'Keefe wanted Karen Reed to come to Canton and stay, and she had some plumbing issues going on. You remember the phone call? So she comes. We don't know what transpired between that, but she ended up going to Canton and going out drinking as well. Had a great time. She's ready to go home. She hasn't felt well, but she's ready to go home. John O'Keefe wants to continue partying. She's driving. It's gonna storm. What do you guys think they argued about? Aruba? No. They were arguing because she didn't want to leave him there, because she didn't want to have to come back and get him. And he wanted to be left. He wanted to go party. He wanted to go hang out. He never let her know. Well, she could not have possibly known that he wasn't able to let her know. She watched him approach. I don't remember if I've ever heard if she watched him actually walk in. I know when I take somebody somewhere, I'll watch for a little bit, and then I'll usually pick up my cell phone, play a game, or find something to be busy with if I know I'm going to be sitting there. So I can't say. But what a stretch. Just all of a sudden they're going to fight over Aruba, right? No, I'm sure that was their argument. And if they were on a rocky road, which it sounds like they had some, and also sounds like, well, let me just say, Jennifer McCabe was just, you can see it's like she was frothing at the mouth, right? She was just, she had to get it out, she had to get it out. So she had to make reference to it so that Lally would ask her, what is the horrible thing that caused you the shock and horror? Shock and horror. The most idiotic explanation I've ever heard. That didn't cause you any shock and horror. That was 2022. You want to know shock and horror? Go back to when I was a kid and watch everything happening nowadays. You might have an idea what shock and horror is right there for you. Because it sure is getting scary to me. I like peace, and I like people getting along, and I like doing the right things and being protected in my country. But this is an absolute nightmare, and it's happening in the United States of America. And y'all think that you're going to get away with it. And it just amazes me that you won't let go. Why won't you let go? You won't let go because you know this is the problem, Lally. Let me tell you your problem. There was absolutely, call it like it was, no investigation. You can tell us all day long and act all shocked. Anybody even would have thought about asking the homeowners if the person laying on the out front in their lawn had been inside. Can we look around? Do you happen to see a shoe? And is that why y'all keep talking about the supposed glass that Karen Reed carried from one establishment to the other? So she carried a glass from C.F. McCarthy's over the Waterfall Bar, and then while she was at the Waterfall Bar, she just continued drinking out of the glasses she brought from C.F. McCarthy's. Well, good, she wasn't drinking anymore, right? Except that glass isn't a match to the glass by John O'Keefe. So where'd the glass come from? Oh, he walked out of Waterfall Bar with a glass, but I'm guessing that glass wasn't his. Well, we never checked in the house behind him, did you? You see, Lally, your problem is there was no investigation. And common sense is telling the entire world. People that were in that house, some of them know what happened. Some of them do. And even if you try to railroad Karen Reed for the next 5 years, you're still going to lose. You're not going to win. This jury's already told you that you didn't prove anything. You can't prove anything. Because I don't know how y'all don't see it, but you cannot convict somebody on speculation. And just because the McAlberts want to blame it on Karen Reed, it doesn't mean it's going to work. Because it's not going to work. And just in case everybody may be wondering, oh, is Nana a Turtle Boy, like, crazy? No. But I can listen to and give credit where credit's due. And he's doing a fabulous job here. So I can't wait to find out what more stories he may have. I hope that y'all enjoyed my reading of it. I do apologize. And I hope I haven't rattled on too long. I don't know what this will look like when I go to post it. But this is the last and final take. I've now read that twice. Out loud. Egregious the first time. I had no problem with it. I think I'm just tired. I was having really bad back spasms earlier from a strain, so whatever. Y'all have a good night, and I'll talk to you later. I have a few things I want to say about the Canton Select meeting, so that'll be a different little video. Bless all of them fighting for justice, fighting for their voices to be heard. Free Karen Reed. And hopefully somewhere the FBI maybe can have the evidence that will get John O'Keefe justice. I'm going to bid you all a good night. Thanks for watching. Bye.